Welcome back to episode 2 of this podcast. Today, I'm going to share with you my relationship with Jesse after we met, got married. We were married for about 12 years before we became parents of our now 7.5-year-old son, Wesley. And it was very interesting, actually, for me to reminisce and look back in retrospect, realizing a lot of things that I never thought about before. First, I'm going to share with you the 5 ingredients that I feel really were an amazing foundation, a grounding base for a long-lasting relationship that has really worked for us. Because no matter how amazing your relationship is, you are going to have some tough times throughout the relationship. That is just a fact of life. That is just part of life. You're going to go into some phases of life where it's going to be a little more challenging, and some other phases are a little more on the cruising side. However, these 5 ingredients, I feel, are the solid foundation that will help you, support you, your relationship, both the couple, to navigate those challenging times, because they will come over and over, and efficiently overcome them. I feel that if these 5 ingredients weren't in place, I don't know if Jesse and I would have made it through, because relationships are for growth. Relationships are there for us to grow as individuals, and we do this together in relationship. That is the power and the gold of relationships. We get together, we do this interaction, bam, we mirror each other, we start projecting our data streams, are the things we've got in there that we don't even see ourselves, and we mirror them into the other person. Like, we see them through the interactions. Of course, you got to have the self-awareness to see it, to take responsibility for that and do the self-work. So let's go into these 5 ingredients. I'm going to say the 5 ingredients first, and then I'm going to go a little bit backstory into each one of them. Complementary is one. Being complementary to each other, I feel is so key, because there's no competition. I've seen in a lot of relationships sometimes a competitive streak rather than a complementary yin and yang team union. I see Jesse as my teammate. We complement each other so well. From the moment we got together, we started working together. I was a singer-songwriter, and he was a musician. He played all these instruments. He also sang and wrote songs, but his favorite thing to do was to write the music, create the music, record the music, produce the whole tracks and everything. And my thing was singing and writing songs. Right away, we got into a studio. Like, he had a little home studio. We started recording together, and it was so fun. Quickly, we both noticed that we worked really well together. We flowed, just like it was very like a dance. It was like a beautiful dance. As we got to know each other, we kept on noticing how even more complementary we were. And this comes to the second ingredient, having common interests. We both had a lot of interests in common. And it's just like when you have a friend, you love doing a lot of the same things together. That's why you become friends, because you enjoy a lot of the same things. And Jesse and I, we both were big into organization. We love organizing everything. We both love decoration. He's in the film industry. He's a set decorator, art director. And so but we're very complementary in that as well, where he's very great in spatial design and in he builds things. He understands like math and things like that. I which is kind of, I don't. I excel more into the overall vision, style. When we come together, though, everything just comes together so easily. We both love to go around antique shops or just adventure. I told him one day, I remember, I'm like, hey, you want to go to Arkansas and dig some rocks out of the earth? And he was like, okay. And the next day, I remember we just like packed up our car and didn't even make reservations anywhere. We just headed out and we're like, adventures await. And then I was like, Googling, okay, ooh, let's go to this mine now. Let's stop right there. No, let's go that, and we just we have so much fun. So we're best friends. And friends, again, they get together because they have similar interests. They have the same kind of fun together. So that's really important. Okay. So we said complementary, similar interests, values. This is a humongous one. It is very important to share similar values and value systems. Now that's a whole episode in itself, which I'm going to create that episode. There's so much to say about that. When you have the same values, similar values, that means you prioritize the same things. The things that are important to you are important to him. You both consider similar things priority, important. Therefore, you're going to support each other's choices. You're going to support each other's ideas because you have that similar priority and you consider important things to be important. You make choices through your values and your value system. So if you're headed somewhere in life, you have a vision for life, if you create and you make choices out of those values and you do it together, then you are going to be heading in the same direction. And it's really important because when you don't head in the same direction, you go separate ways. So it is extremely important to be on the same page because the choices that you make are going to be based on your values and your value system. And that's where you're headed. That's where you're going. And if you have different value system and different values, you're not going to be able to support each other. There's going to be more friction. There's going to be more chaos. That's why I'm saying these 5 ingredients that I'm telling you will absolutely make the relationship flow so much more efficient. It will support you in the rough times as well because, like I said, they will come. The next one is having similar lifestyle. Having a similar lifestyle also will save you a lot of trouble because imagine you're living together. You want longevity. How much easier is it when you both have the same lifestyle? And this is where Jesse and I had a little bit of work to do to align ourselves, tweaks and adjustments. There was some things that, for example, I had as a non-negotiable. I just didn't want to, for example, I didn't want to be in a marriage and live in a house where there was alcohol in my refrigerator or that people are drinking every day or nothing, because I don't drink, and I didn't want to marry someone that drank because it's totally different lifestyle. And I have zero judgment, by the way, to anybody that drinks or whatever they want to do with their life. That's up to you. Everybody is 100% in the right to live the way they want to live. This is how I want to live, and I get to create the life that I want for myself. It's as easy and as simple as that. I have zero judgment for anybody else, but I absolutely 100% feel like I gonna live my life the way I want to live it and create my vision of my life the way I want to. Whoever wants to come on that boat with me, hey, let's do it. You're welcome. You are welcome to come with me, right? But if you're not in alignment with that, then shoot, the door's right there. And there are millions of people out there that do all these other things that maybe you might be into. And Jesse knew that. Before he asked me to marry him, I told him everything about me. Like, I was so empowered to be 100% myself, authentically say everything that my vision, that I had in my vision, that I wanted, and the non-negotiable was that. And so he felt that that wasn't a deal breaker for him. He felt like he wanted to, being with me and building a life with me was way more what he wanted, a priority over any drinking. So that was a decision. Till this day, we don't drink. Now, something that happened within the relationship that I would never knew that was going to happen was that I switched into a vegan raw diet because of a health reason that happened to me, or that I experienced, which I think it was a blessing because it completely transformed my life. I had this cancer cell that appeared, and so that caused to transform my life. It was amazing. I feel very blessed that it happened because it really gave me so much knowledge, so much wisdom, so many experiences. But back to the relationship, of course, it was a positive transformation for me. Jesse had to go with me on that. Like, we went together on it. Like, he transformed his nutrition as well, and was my partner in supporting what I had to do for my health, and also did it at the same time. I did the wildest alternative healings. I actually went back to school because of that and got my natural health doctorate in natural health. I got my doctorate in natural health because of this amazing experience that I had. But anyway, so that was a big shift in our life, changing our diet. So then we weren't drinking, we weren't eating meat. So basically we're going in a road where we're the minority, right? So I feel that going through transformation, which honestly is the purpose of relationship, is to grow and learn together, individually, but also knowing that you're having that transformational experience as a whole, like together. You're in it together. To have these other ingredients really supported us. Regardless, we managed to come to a place that we both, again, are in alignment, which is the key, right? The key. The very last ingredient, which is the fifth, is mindset. And mindset has to do with a certain level of consciousness that you're in alignment. So you're like-minded individuals. That's what I mean when I'm talking about mindset. You're like-minded individuals. You have similar view on reality. And although my view on reality was a little bit more out there, expanded, bigger picture, Jesse was very open to it. So his mindset he has a growth mindset. And our values are almost identical, by the way. Our top 5, we have very similar values, which is why we have been able to sustain our relationship so solid. And especially because the way that we live is so, I wouldn't say that it's mainstream. Let's just say we don't do what almost everybody does. We just don't live like that. And we both are in it together, which is great because this is our universe here. We build this life together, and we both have to really love it. And we both have to build a life that we love together. So it's very important. Again, I'll say the interests, lifestyle, values, being complementary, and mindset. When you are open to new ideas, and you're open to expanding your awareness and becoming more self-aware and learning new things, that growth mindset, and both people have it, it's so much easier to go through the challenging times because that's what growth is about. You're gonna go through some challenging times. And the challenges, when things come up and they're challenging, sometimes, a lot of times, people feel and blame the relationships. It's the relationship, because a lot of relationships are need-based relationships rather than love-based. And when your needs change, which they do as you evolve, then you question the relationship and you're like, well, is this the right relationship for me? Because you're not fulfilling my needs. But that's not a love-based relationship. Okay? So there's a big difference. We'll do a whole episode on that in the future. So the biggest realization to me in retrospect, looking back, thinking about this episode, like what am I going to talk about in this episode, was realizing how much ego Jesse and I had in the first 12 years of our relationship before we became parents. Ego is basically fear-based beliefs, fear-based thoughts, right? Fear-based programming, data streams. And these are, a lot of them get generated in childhood. They come from the data streams of our parents, even sometimes generational, and sometimes from the experiences that we've had in our childhood and the interpretations that we get, that we have. So I was telling my mom, the first 12 years of our relationship before we became parents, it was very ego-based for us. And I feel that it was these 5 ingredients that really got us through that big hump before we began to do a lot of self-work to flush this out, all of the stuff out, and that we continue to do. But now it's a lifestyle. Now we are different people. And we're gonna go into that. I'm super excited about that episode, which is gonna be the next episode 3, which is gonna be all about when we became parents. At that time, I didn't know, I wasn't aware of self-work, of really doing the healing, the inner child wounding, mother wound. Everybody has like a different programming, limiting beliefs. You can call it so many different things. It's all really talking about the same thing, which is pretty much fear-based. That's, to me, it's like it's the umbrella of all of it. And then all of it coming and stemming from, first, the quality of your consciousness, the experiences you probably had in the compilation of all the different lives and experiences you've had, and then drawing that into your childhood, and then having these experiences in childhood that continue to solidify that until you grow out of it by doing the self-work. There's so many different, from the collective, there's so many different distorted programs, distorted information that doesn't serve us. It is distorted because it is fear-based. And so we have to become self-aware, become aware of that content, take responsibility for that within our being, process it, okay, and get rid of it. And this is a continuous work. And we do this best in relationships. All of our relationships. When we do it with our spouse, though, it's powerful. It's powerful because we get to do it with our spouse throughout our entire life. We get to do it if we choose to do it. Love is a choice. We're going to go deep into understanding what love is. What are the qualities of love? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do we know we are being loved? We're going to go into all of that. And in relationships, how can we optimize that embodiment? How can we because it is the place to optimize. The place to optimize ourselves and each other with our children. Oh my gosh. I am so excited to do episode 3 because that is where the jazz of my life went next level. Next level. Round up on our relationship. Jesse is my best friend. He is my love. He is my lover. He is my source teammate. He is my partner in all. And this experience of life that we do together, it's so much richer because we're doing it together, because we're on the same page, because we are in awareness of what consciously and intentionally we are doing and doing it together, and how we support each other. And the support really is coming by the awareness of this growth, this learning experience, this depth of authenticity coming from intuitive space. And it is beautiful when you do relationships from that authentic leadership, because you are being led from source. You're being led from within. And then you bring that leadership from the core of your essence into this life. And when you do that as a couple, it is powerful. And then when you can parent from that authentic leadership and embodiment of love, it is next level. Next level. I feel like I need to come up with some sort of new word to that is next level of next level. Because this next level I was feeling that I was saying is next level of that. I don't think I have yet the word that expresses when I'm talking about next level. And the last thing I'll share with you right now with the compliment thing is so fun. And it's amazing. It's so interesting. Because, for example, my first episode was filmed on an iPhone. I filmed it on an iPhone. And Jesse has taken this second episode next level. Again, next level. Because now he has a 5D camera with an L series lens, and it's so much better than my iPhone. and now he put it together. He helps me to create all of this. I have this vision, and then my compliment, he has all these knowledge that complements what I want to do. And this happens all the time, and it's so fun. And then when he wants to do something, then I channel some sort of information intuitively and I compliment it, and he's just like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then we keep doing this complementary situation, complementary interaction, and this life becomes so much more multidimensional and so much more round and so much more nourishing for each other and for the relationship. But all of this is work. The last story I'll tell you is that when Jesse and I were dating, we almost broke up. I almost broke up with him in like the first month because, he's 3 years younger than me. And I was like, listen, I want to get married. And I don't know if you're there yet because you're younger than me. And so I don't think it's going to work. And he said, what? You don't know me? He's like, you don't know me. I might be ready. I'm a serious guy. And he said to me, listen, I'm here. He said, I'm here to work with you. I'm here to work with you. And that made an impression on me. And I was like, jams, not only is he fighting for it, which, wow, I like that. But also he is here to work with me. And that really grabbed my attention. And I'm like, all right, okay. All right, let's do this. And I gave him a chance. And it was the best thing I did, because to this day, we work together. And it's about the work, the self-work, the inner work. And that's it for today, y'all.